JD again. Welcome to my channel. I know I still have to get that Franken watch into some balance chucks, and these are the chucks that I plan on using. They're Levine. They're very good quality. And I do one last shot at this Franken watch to see if I can trim a little bit off the upper pivot. There it is, running like crazy really well one way, but the minute I turn this thing upside down, sideways it runs really well, no problem at all. Sideways, it just doesn't like upside down. So right now I'm looking at it upside down, it slows right down, so I'm going to give it another shot. One more shot, but I want to get some work done on this other watch first, because I'm going to have the owner be pissed off at me. So this here is a 845 Waltham. So this is a very high-end movement. Love it. It has a broken balance staff, which of course is a bit of a pain, but there it is there. There's the parts, and there's that little balance staff right there. And I got from Dave's Watch Parts two staffs. One is a 1703A and the other one is a 1703, and he said, I'm not sure which one you need. So I gave him all the data here, but I was missing one thing. I think I was missing the distance right there. I think he needed that in order to get the right staff. So the pivot size was fine, everything else was fine. So what I'm going to do is take the old staff, and I'm going to put that down on this piece of Rodico, and I'll just show you what I'm doing right now, but I will put this on in the stereo microscope to make sure that I'm not screwing this up. So I'm going to try the 1703A to start off, or 1703 first, start off with, and see if this staff is the right one. So I'm going to measure this against the old staff, and see if there is significant difference. This thing actually looks different. Looks completely different. So I don't know if this is the staff. This looks completely different. So that's the 1703, not the 1703A. So let me grab the other staff here and throw that down and do some praying. So, and the last thing I need is to have another staff problem. So that is the 1703A. That looks a lot closer, but still doesn't look exactly the same as the old one. I'll just put it on the other side of it so you can see what I'm talking about. I need to push this stuff down like that. There we go. So that's the 1703A on this side. So 1703A is on this side, and the 1703 is on the other side, and it looks like it's a 1703A. Looks like it's this one and not this one. So I'm just praying here. So I don't know. I'm going to set this up for installation as well and see if there's an issue there. I don't want there to be end shake issues. I don't want there to be any of the same issues I had with the last watch. Although the balance staff was perfect for the last watch, but something was afoot. The last watch had all kinds of problems. I guess that's why they gave it to me, right? Let's give it to a guy that fixes problems. I'm just looking at this watch here to see. Yeah, it looks like it's riveted on. It does look like the staff's a little longer, but it's probably because the pivots are broken. So I'm going to check that out. This one here, the 1703, actually looks, from a staff perspective, completely different, but It's where the hub is. The hubba bubba. Yeah, it's a lot lower than the other one. So I think this one here, I'm going to put this aside. I don't think that's the right one, so put that aside, because I could use that maybe later or some other day or something, but this is not the right part for this watch. The other part, though, should work. We shall see. What I want to do is staff it and then see if it works, and if it works, then I'll just strip the watch down. I don't believe I've cleaned it yet. Alright, the first thing I need to do in replacing a staff is make sure that I've got the right bit. So this is the bit that's going to squish down on the staff, and then separate the rivet for the staff. So I need to find the right bit, and you've got to have it super tight so it's not going to be so you're able to spread the staff. So what I do is I just grab a couple of these things. I need to get the grabber out here. Grab a couple of these stakes, and I've got the staff on a piece of Rodico so it doesn't disturb or upset it. Alright, it's way too small. So I'll go up one, go to this, and see what this looks like. It's got to be snug, otherwise it won't spread the rivet. That's not bad for the final staking, but it's not tight enough to spread the rivet. So if I look at this one here is the right size I need at the end to flatten the rivet. So I need to find one that's smaller than that. See if I can grab this one right here. This takes a bit of time, but it's necessary. So you want to, basically you're trying to fit this like this, and you're saying, okay, does this fit in here? It almost fits, but it doesn't fit. So that's not going to work. It's got to go over that part right there, right? So let me look at that closer here. Oh man, that's super close. So I know that that's very close, that one there. So if I look at all the rest of them here, the next one that's close to that one might be this one here, maybe. Maybe this one here. That other one was super close though. You want it to be as close as possible so it spreads that rivet. So let me look at that, see what this one looks like. Man, that's too... That one there is too small. So that's too small. That one's too big. It's close, but it's too big. Maybe this one right here. Should be one that works, right? This one looks way too big. Yeah, this one is eating the part. Eating the part. Just keep stabbing here and see what I can do. Last time I did that, I had to pick one that was of a different form because it was this. Maybe this is the one I picked last time too. Yeah, this one fits even though it seems to be a... I wish I could pick one that was just a bit same size but not with the edges on it, because that one's got edges on it. So I'm looking at all these rivets here and I don't want to get out my other staking set, because I do have another staking set. It's quite an elaborate staking set. And these ones here are not the right type. Yeah, so that one there does fit, but is it too, I think I had to use that one the last time for the last staking job, this one here. It's got, you can see that, it's got sort of a edge to it like that, but you punch down and you rotate anyway, so it may not make a difference, I don't know. I think it's microscope time, folks. I just want to see how close that is, see if I don't have to get another staking set out. I think I'll actually grab my even better staking set and see whether I can find the right stake for it. Alrighty, time to go high end on this. High end. As you can see, I've got my high end. Look at this. This is an amazing set. This is the highest end staking set that the humans have ever made. So it even has a bunch of bonus stakes on the side. I think these are stakes that I bought to turn into something else for an individual that needed some stakes. So this is a very high-end staking set though. So let me look at the staking set here and let me look and see if I can find a stake that'll actually work for this balance staff. It's got everything in it, man. Everything. I don't know what more you'd need in a staking set. It even has these jobby doohickeys that are used for taking off balance staffs. I was going to say putting on balance staffs. It's got reamers. It's got all kinds of stuff in there. It's pretty friggin' impressive. Look at that. That's for holding whatever the heck these things are. Anyway, it's very high-end staking set, so I'm going to see if I can find the right, I think right in here is what I need. So I need to pick the right one and go from there. So does it also have a little grabber? I don't know if it has a grabber or not, but I don't need one because I got one over here. Let me see, is this a grabber? No. Man, I never use this thing. I should use it more often. See, it's got the arm that you put on the, oh, I think I dropped something. It's got the arm that you put on the stumpy stake thing. I think I'm running out of nouns. It's a long day. I'm tired. So I'm going to try to fit this one here and see if that's right. Whoa. I think that's the one, folks. If I went one smaller, am I in trouble? I think one smaller is right here. I don't think this will do any better than the other one. So you know what? One smaller did do better. So this is a stake right here. I'm just going to put that in here for now. That is going to be a perfect stumping stake job. So I'm just going to close this down and put this on the floor. This is a really nice reversal staking set though. I got this from a gentleman who wanted to sell it, and it's probably worth around $1,000, I'd say, or maybe even more. Alright, so now that I've got the stake of all stakes, the staking stake of stakes, well, look at that. So the crystal on this watch, that's plastic, right? That was not installed properly. So I'm just going to put this aside here. I'm going to use my old stake to center the new stake. So this goes, and I can put this right in one of the stumps. I gotta try not to squeeze this too hard because I do not want to break the pivots. Otherwise I'll have to buy another one. I can't remember, is it this one or the other one? It's this one right here. So what I want to do is, I can't remember, did I line that up yet? No, I didn't. So I want to just look at the marks on this thing to see if it's lined up properly. Let me just zoom in a bit here. So the first thing I need to do is line this properly with the hole so I don't have any issues. I don't mind that falling down, by the way, because it's so light it won't matter. So that is lined up perfectly, if that's the right hole. Take that out and put this back in nice and carefully. I'm having fun today. Today is a Sunday, and I haven't had much time, if at all, to do any watch work lately. But the cottage is closed and winter is a-coming, so things are good from a watch repair perspective. So I put that down like that, and I'm just going to go down and make sure it's, oh yeah, that's so close it's sickening. You can hear the garage door opening and my wife coming home, so I got to make sure that doesn't distract me, because everything distracts you in watch repair. So what I need to do here is I need to rivet this on. So I place that on like this, and then I need to go over the top of this, as you can see, like this. I think Chris Spinner, who's pretty good at this stuff, does a lot of riveting of watches. There's a lot of riveting. I know this show is riveting. So the trick here is to knock it down, and it spreads the rivet, and then it attaches. So once you get it in place like that, you have to tap it down like so, and then you turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. It's still rattling, so which means it's not spreading the rivet enough, or is it? Oh, actually it is. I'm going to keep at it here. I need to spread that rivet until it doesn't move anymore. What I'm going to do is move the mat out of the way, because I think that's absorbing some of the shock of the tapping, and I want that tapping to be straight down. So just put something on the mat for now. I don't know whether that's good enough. I'm going to pull this out and have a look. So that might be good. So what I can do here is just hold the balance staff, or held the balance staff, and then rotate the balance and see if it's hanging on. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm going to look under the microscope just because. Well, I checked under the microscope and it still needs some more tapping, because this rivet is not completely in yet. So let's go at it again. Look at that. Yeah, that's spread pretty good now. So you spread the rivet like that. I'm going to look under my microscope again, but once the rivet's spread, then you use a flat one, same size but flat, and that just puts it down. So I'm going to have a look again to make sure that this rivet is in well. I think it is actually. It looks pretty good. Yeah. I'm going to bring out the world's most amazing staking set, and I'll just adjust the camera a bit. And there it is there, to show you the staking set in a second. I probably need to do a video just on this. So if you're watching this video and you think I should do a video just on this staking set, then please ask. It's got a lot of crazy stuff in here, and it's just a beautiful staking set. So this isn't from the other one. I don't want to use that. This is the one that I just used. Pretty sure, so I'm going to look behind the staking set and make sure I didn't screw up. No, this is the one here. So this goes in here. So now I have to find a flat one of the same size. And it's one of these, I believe. So let me just take a guess. So if it's this one here, look down here. And it's probably this one here, maybe? Perhaps. Let me have a look. So again, grab the balance staff, and it's got to go, this has got to go over the alright, that is not big enough. Ladies and germs, I gotta go up one. And what you do, just keep riding it up until you find the right one. Just be very aware of where the pivot is. Super close. If you're aware of where the pivot is, you're not going to break it. So just keep an eye on the pivot as you're doing this. Again, super close, but I keep having to go up. This is a great staking set because it's got so many different sizes that you're wow, this thing is just gradually going up by 0.01 of a millimeter probably. So it is, today is officially 1 hour. Is that good there? I think that might be it right there. It's snug in there, but it's fitting way too snug, maybe. Yeah, if I pound that thing down, there is a chance that it doesn't come out. I might not do it. I might not pound it flat this time because it might be good the way it is. Let me put this one on here. Okay, that one is the right one. So let me just close the staking set and go from there. Alright, that's done. I have to now install the roller table. So just like last time, I need to basically find a stake that fits over this and allows me to install the roller table. And because this is a reverso, this is my other staking set, by the way, but this anvil is a reverso. I might be able to use this one at stake here that I used to pound this down on. And I'm just not sure whether I want to rest it on. Yeah, I may want to rest it on the edge there instead of on the balance. Because by resting it on the balance, I have the chance of pushing it off the other side, which I don't want to do. So anyway, let's try that. So I think I'm going to find another stake, yet another stake, or a stump. I decided to give you a better angle of the staking set, though. This is a very nice reverso staking set. So what I want to do is, there's the balance, and the staff is in now, right? But I've got to turn this upside down and then put the roller table on. And normally you could just rest the whole thing on a stump. I want to make sure there's no pressure on the staff itself as I tap the roller table in. So I want to find a stake that fits over one of the shafts and not over the other one. Let me see. What I could do is, because I use the other rivet, or the other stake here, the rounded one, to hold this. I know that some people might criticize this move here, but I really don't want to lose the rivet on this. So if I use the same stake I used to rivet this on, it's only going to further spread the rivet, which would be okay. So I can use that like this, and to put the table on shouldn't be a big deal. So to put the table on, I just need to pick a stake that fits over the top of this part of the shaft. It allows me to push the table down. That stake would work, but it's only going to work if it fits over but doesn't interfere with the jewel, right? So let me just take all this apart here. So this would go in here like that. I'm going to put that all the way down because it's a reverso, and this is as opposed to using a stump. Like, I could use a stump, but I'm a little worried. A little bit worried, unless the stump was a perfect size. I'd have to have the perfect size stump. I'm just thinking out loud here. That's a nice stump, but it's not small enough. I am stumped. That is almost the right size stump. A little bit smaller is perfect. How big is this thing? That big? So if I use this one here, maybe that'll work. I'm trying to not put pressure on that rivet so that all the force is straight down and not at all on that rivet. Oh, I think I found the perfect stump. This is the one here. So I can not use this then. I can put this one back and be a good boy. I probably shouldn't have done that, right? So this stump will work. So I just put this stump in where it fits. It's always one over with these stumps. I don't know why. And then you line it up. So let me just put that down like that. So I've got the stump in here, and then I just line that up with this. Just like this. Press down on that, and then tighten it. There. Stumps in. Then take the take this here, I'm going to put this in backwards on this, right, like that. There we go. And that's just resting there, and it's resting on the collar of where the hairspring would go. And that way I don't have any stress at all on the jobby doohickey on the roller table. So now the roller table, got to get this stuff out of the way so I can stretch out. Let me move this down here. Oh my god! Oh my god! Hope you guys aren't bored yet. I know there's the possibility that you will be bored, but I'm sorry. Watch check. I'm wearing it on the wrong wrist and it's got the wrong time. Casio. It's a 5200 or something, but it's the best one they have. So that's that. Now I got to get the roller table out and determine whether I need to have the stake that's got the opening for the jewel. So there's the jewel. There's the put this down like this. Again, I'm looking for the red mark, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to have to line it up again anyway. Let me have a look before I do this. I'm going to put this down right here on the table and pull this out, and I want to see which side the red mark was on. The red mark is on this side, so the jewel would go on the other side. So I'm going to just put this back very carefully. Like that. There we go. And this is called micro work. Grab the jewel, and what I want is that I want it to be at 90 degrees. Now I gotta look because that just slid down, and I want to see how much space I have between that and when it seats home. I get a little bit, not a lot though. Hopefully I don't have to spread the table, because you can do that as well, right? So I'm just going to move this over just a tad. Just like that. Let me look down again. Just like that. Now I don't know whether I've got enough material on that to do it properly, so press down on that. How much material do I have at the end? Not a lot. A little tiny bit. So I'm going to stamp that down. See, that's in now. Now the hope here is that there's enough friction when I stamp that down that it holds all that in place, so there is no problem, because that went down nicely, but you never know. It did work. So here's the end result. Hopefully you saw that. Use the back of my hand to allow the camera to focus. So the roller table is on. I just have to put the hairspring in place now. So to put the hairspring in place, now I got to get a stake that allows the jewel to fit in, because I'm going to put that like this and then put the hairspring in. But first I got to measure to make sure I know exactly where the stud for the hairspring is supposed to go. So let's complete that measurement. So I'm going to line some of this up to make sure it works properly, right? And right now, like, I bought the right balance staff. I didn't make this, I bought this staff, so it should be perfect, but you don't know, right? So I found that one out the hard way last time. So I'm going to put the I'm just going to put this in place here, nice and easy. Very carefully just lower this on, and the pivot should go right through the top, which it's doing, which is perfect, right? So the pivot's right through there, no problem. And now I want to look at where that balance staff is, because I've got to, the anchor is right there, so it says there was this theory that the collet was going to be lined up like that, right? Which means the staff is like this around here, And so that's where the collet is, and guess what? It's perfect. It's exactly where it lines up. So I'm just going to let that go, and I can see that the staff is moving fairly freely, which is nice, right? I may even want to put the I'm going to put this screw in and see if the staff has got a nice movement to it. And I don't have that issue again. All right. Yeah, I think this is moving nice and freely. So let's just take this out again. I'm going to get my stick of all sticks, which is this Bergeron 7010 polymide. Polymade would be something for keeping your stuff in your refrigerator nice and fresh. So, thalidomide. Anyway, I put a little bit of pressure on here so when I remove the screw I don't have any issues. Wait till it ticks, and then I take that off. So that works, that's nice. And then I'm going to remove this bounce cock very carefully. Just get it out of the way of that upper pivot, put that out of the way. I'm going to have to, then I'm going to lift the balance out of its seating, like that. And then I've got to find the right, stake that's going to fit. It's going to allow me to push that down. So let's go stake hunting again. So I'm going to bring out my very high-end staking set again. Nothing but high-end for my customers. That's, oh, and hopefully I won't have to spend 300 hours on this one. But the gentleman was very nice, whose other watch I keep trying to get going. And guess what? It's still ticking really well, so I think I will put that into the chucks there, the balloon chucks as they call them, and see if I can get that working properly within the balloon chucks. So I'm going to return this stump here because I don't need it anymore. There's the stump, and I am currently looking at all of my, I'm going to just grab the camera and move it. I'm currently looking at all of these to see which one I can use that'll allow me to fit that balance on. So I can use this stump here perhaps, as long as it goes over and allows me to push that on. There's also a smaller one right next to it which might be more appropriate. This one here, like that. And you can see what these things look like. And that just lets the jewel drop in. So if you put this in here and like that, so I put that in like this, and when I rest that down on the when I rest the balance on that, it should let the jewel drop in. Say that 3 times fast. So I'm going to just move my camera again manually here. Apologize for all this manual camera work. So here's what I got to do. There's a little red mark on that balance that I had put there before to line that up. So this is what I need to do here is put the balance in there. I can see some material or something there that I gotta make sure that isn't going to block anything. Yeah, I don't like that. Looks like a piece of metal or something. Let me look at this and see if I can clear this. It's in the stump, and I don't like it because it's looks like it could get in the way of stuff. Alright, looks clean now. It's all very touchy stuff, eh? So now when you put the hairspring back on, there's not a lot of pressure involved in doing that. So anyway, but when you handle the balance, you handle it with the lightest, incredibly light feel when you're handling the balance. So I'm just going to put this in the stump, and it fits absolutely perfectly. So I'll just show you how that jewel rides into the, see if I can show that somehow. There you go. You see the jewel there riding into the stump? Right in the middle, right in up higher, but in the middle. That's the impulse jewel. And so the stump's got a groove in it so that you can put that in and not worry about it. So now, that's from my old staking set. I got to get the right stake here. This is a stake, I believe, that goes all the way down. It allows me to push the stump, or the that's way too tight. So I gotta pick another one because that is too tight. Too tight. I'm gonna look at all these, and I just need to pick one that will push down on the edge of that. Yeah, that should be good enough. I don't need it. I just need it to clear the arm, and then push down like that. There we go. That should do. So I'll leave that in place right there. So that's, just go up a bit. Yeah, so that's in place there, like that. And when you push the hairspring down, usually you don't have to use any more force than your hands. So you don't need to tap it down. You can tap it down if you're a little bit nervous about the whole thing, but you don't need to tap it down. So, by the way, if you've got one of these pin vices here, they're so handy. So in this one here, I just put a needle in it and I sharpen that needle. I use it for a lot of things, but I got quite a few pin vices. I am not short of pin vices. So let me continue this work here. So I'm just going to move the watch out of the way. I wish that crystal wasn't loose on the watch. It's a bit of a pain in the butt here, but it is loose, so be it. So there it is there. Now look for where that red mark is on here, and it's right there. And usually the stud is on the opposite side of where the impulse jewel is going. So I'm just turning it around this way because I'll lay it down and then line it up. There, so I've laid that down like that, and I'm going to turn it the other way. And what I want to do is line that stud up with that red mark. Oh my God, it's so close right now. I don't know if I need to do anything. That's good right there. I don't need to do much more than that. And now I just have to push this into place. So there we go there, and I push down. It shouldn't take much to push that into place. Is that in now? I think it might be in. I'm going to tap it just a bit, just a tad. As I tap it, I watch it. So that's in place. Yeah, that's good. So that is installed now. So you can have a look at that. There we go. That's the hairspring installed. And now I'm going to take that rig right out very carefully. I find if you've got a loop on, you got to really be careful when you got a loop on, because you could not see things in 3D that well. So my recommendation is to remove the loop when you're doing, remove one side of the loop when you're doing work. And I'm going to put this down onto the piece of Rodico. It's live action. It's like those police videos. There we go. So that's it right there. So that's all assembled. And just make sure when you're finished that, you put everything back to where it belongs, which means you're grabbing that beautiful staking set like this, and you're putting that stump back. Maybe at the end of this I'll spend a few seconds describing the staking set. There's probably things in the staking set that I've never used and could learn how to use, but there's some really cool stuff in here that would maybe a separate video would be appropriate. So this is the staking, the anvil or whatever it's called from my other staking set. So I loosen that up after I do the work, and I'll return this stuff back to that staking set. And now all I need to do is, all I want to do here is test and make sure this whole thing works. So I'm going to push the upper jewel back in here, and I just want to make sure this thing runs so there's no issue. I should be able to do that with using an anvil. That's the wrong one. I got too many anvils. This anvil here, you got to watch out for the regulator pins here. So there's the anvil. There's the jewel. I really don't need to do a lot with this jewel right now. I don't need to oil it. I just want to make sure this watch is working with the new staff in it. So put that down, and what I do is I hang the impulse jewel parts over. So I'm trying to, this is obviously gold. It's gold, Jerry. I'm trying to put that in so that it's lined up properly. And where is that line up? There it is right there, I think. So it's right there, and with this, I believe I can fly. I believe I can push that down. See if I can find, there it is. So I got a piece of pegwood here, and the pegwood is really good for that because it won't damage anything if you're just pushing it down in place. Now, is that going down at all? I don't think it is. There we go. So that just settled right down. Yeah, there we go. So that's now in place. And now I'm going to put the balance back on. And there's going to be a lot of praying going on, but I'm going to put the balance back on and pray this thing works. So, and this is, I don't think that difficult a balance to put on, but I'm going to do it again under my stereo microscope. What I do is I'll lay this down flat, turn this around, and then peg it into place, and then I'm good, right? So that's what I'm doing. All right, this is a live action shot for Mr. Bauman out there. So we're going to put this back in the watch, the staff back in the watch. I'm going to enter it from this side, which means, I'm going to wind this up just a bit. It means that the pallet fork needs to be on the other side. So let me put that back down again. I actually can't remember whether I cleaned this yet or not. Just can't remember. So it's been so long. It's I apologize because I do have a cottage, and the cottage causes me to have to be there, and when I'm at the cottage I'm not doing watch repair, which is a shame but a fact. So I'm going to try to enter this from the side here. And then I've got the pallet fork pushed over on this side like this. And as I put that down, like that, with any luck I get some ticking happening. Oh, there we go. There's some ticking, folks. Let me just put let me put this back in. And I haven't oiled it or anything, so it's just ticking based on ticking. So there's no oiling yet. that is a good sign. That means the staff went in, the pallet fork is interacting with the impulse jewel, also good. And I've got myself some ticking. I got myself a heartbeat. Now, I don't want to have to shim this, so I'm just, again, hoping that I've got the right size staff and there's no shimming needed. Oh, I may have to shim it. Look at that, it stopped. Come on. I think when they make these staffs, they make them slightly bigger than they need them. So this one also might need some shimming, which is a pain in the butt, but I'm not sure why when I get these balance staffs I'm having these issues. So let me just throw a shim in there just to see if it's going to make a difference here. I'm going to moan over this one here, because I don't want to have to shim it, but when I buy a balance staff, the thought is that it's going to work, right? So shimming is done in Watch World, so in Pocket Watch World. And if I don't have to do work on the staff, it's a lot better, because it'll take a lot less of my time, as you saw last time when I had to do so much work on that staff. So I've doubled it over here like this. Now I might be able to just tuck this under it to see if this is going to work. That's kind of fat there, so I may have to thin it out and then tuck it in. Just hang on a second. Just going to cut that again. These are the world's best pairs of scissors, by the way. I bought them at Cardin Tools. That's here in Canada, and it's a very good store. And they always have things like the world's best tweezers or the world's best scissors or something. I like the fact the balance is running nicely though. So I don't know what amplitude there is or anything, but I believe this still needs to be cleaned, so it doesn't matter. Trying to find the perfect home for the shim here. I can't remember what the studs look like on the bottom. Maybe I should approach it from the other side. Approach it from this side and see if that works. I use a very small screwdriver here to put this in. Let me think here. Sorry about this, but if I shim it, I want to shim it so that it's up a bit. There seems to be all kinds of fun stuff blocking it here. I saw only 2 knobbies, so maybe I'll just shim it on both sides and see what I can do here. Let me do that. So let me grab this one. I can just break that off. I'm not really concerned right now because we'll be cleaning the watch later anyway. So I'll just break that off. I'll put a shim on this side as far as I can put it in. I'll have a look at what's under there later. But put one on this side like that. It's in enough to shim it up. I think it is anyway. And then put one on the other side. I just want to see if I really don't want to be adjusting the balance again. It's so much work. Well, I'm not sure why these balance staffs just don't fit perfectly. You're farting around with this shit and it takes a long time. Nope, still stuck it in. Well, let me look and see if it runs upside down, even if it's like this and not so tight. Okay, I'm just going to check this upside down to make sure I don't have the same problem I had last time. Nope, problem's not there. Problem, the watch runs perfectly upside down. And it runs side to side, no problem. It just needs to be shimmed up just slightly. So I'll have to look and see what that looks like underneath to be able to shim this up properly. Oh, I see what's going on here. It's what's happening is that there's an edge to this thing that I can't see. So there's a little edge there. It dips down and then it goes over. So that's why there's no shim going in there at all. It's just sitting there. So I'd have to loosen this up a little more like that. And then grab the world's smallest screwdriver here. Oh yeah, the thing actually goes down and over, so that's why I couldn't shim it properly. It's actually going down. Yeah, that's not going to shim properly. So it's got a lip on it that goes down, so I'll end up having to shim it underneath and then move it in. But the good news is it runs, and I don't think the shimming is going to be a big deal, but it is absolutely needed. I might just lift it up right now and have a look and see if I can throw that underneath. Alright, there we go. So I put a shim on the bottom. I basically got it through there. It's all shimmed up, and I'm looking at the watch running sideways and upside down, and there's no problem. I'm going to look at the amplitude upside down to make sure there's no stalling, and there is not any stalling at all. So I'll prove it by flipping it around and it's still running. There we go. That's good. Everything works. No problem at all. So now all I need to do is disassemble this and clean it so it's repaired. So that's some good news for Mr. Bauman. So just give you his first name, Mr. Bauman. So what I'm going to do is I can tear this thing away right now because it doesn't need to be. So just tore out the end part of the shim, and you can see when you do that you've got nothing showing there at all, right? So, and again, like I said, shimming is a common practice, so I'll let this thing run. I may wind it down actually so it doesn't run without oil, so it's not unoiled, although it probably won't hurt it for the time it's been running. But it does run in all positions, so that's very pleased about that. So it was successful balance staff change on the watch. So let me just put some power on the watch like that, and then I'll bring the ratchet out of the way and let this thing run down. Come on, run down. I think my little poker is too small or too big. I need to use this screwdriver here to do that and just let it run down. So what I'm just doing here is riding it in my thumb, within my thumb and between the thumb and my finger. So it's kind of a controlled run down to the mainspring. That way I don't have any problems here. So that was a successful change of the balance staff for this old watch. I'm very happy about that. I think it's almost running out of power here. Yeah. And that's it right there. There we go. So that was a successful change of the balance staff. I'm just going to put this back on here so it's protected. So the watch now runs. And what we're going to do next is we will disassemble this watch in its entirety and repair it. Well, actually it's repaired now, I think, but reassemble it, test it, regulate it, make sure it's running really well. But I'm very happy for the staff replacement. Seems to have worked really well, so thank you very much. I did have to put one shim in there, but no big deal. So there you go. So I'm JD. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, by the way. I really appreciate that. And I do show you the trials and tribulations of watch repair. So the shame is that I really don't know whether I want to complete this today or not. I may actually strip it down and clean it this afternoon. So at least I'm ahead of the game, right? So, but I'll see you later. I'm going to publish this video, and thanks for watching, and I'll check you later. Bye-bye. Catch you later.